joined as always by a friend of 25 years, actor extraordinaire, the GC Choi himself, the SSA champion of the world, Mr. JP Wolf. How you doing, buddy?
Happy New Year in the future, because it's not the New Year, but when this will drop, it'll be the New Year.
Well, you're absolutely correct, because we are banking episodes over this holiday season.
Yes, indeed. And what episode are we doing today?
Well, today our feature presentation is the 1990 Arnold classic, Eraser.
Ooh, yeah. This one is a lot of fun.
I had somehow never seen it. There was, for some reason, a period like in the 90s where I just thought all of Arnold's movies were shit, and I just stopped watching them. This one's awesome.
It's great, and James Caan is great in it, and I mean, Vanessa Williams, she's okay.
She's good for what she's given. She's not giving.
Yeah, she's not given a lot. But yeah, it's such a fun movie.
So much fun. Yeah, I feel like I lumped this in with like End of Days and like the one where there was like two Arnolds and like this one.
Oh, The Sixth Day?
Yeah, something like, yeah, that's right. I wanted to say Sixth Sense, but I knew that wasn't right.
I could see dead people.
He does see a lot of dead people in this movie.
Yeah.
Let alone hand. But before we get into that, what have you been watching, reading, doing this week?
Newest episode of Chippendales came out.
Ooh.
It's so good. Highly recommended to those who haven't seen it. And then the other night, I wanted to go see a movie, and it was either Violent Night or The Whale. And, Brendan Fraser's getting a lot of hype for this role.
Original thick boy, Brendan Fraser.
Original thick boy, Brendan Fraser.
Into that recasting we just recorded, but I couldn't figure out a way. He's a little too thick to be crawling around in those vents.
Yeah, and he's a little on the older side, so.
Yeah, still love him.
Yeah, he's the best. He was so good in it. I ended up seeing The Whale because the guy who wrote it, Sam Hunter, was at Iowa the same time we were, and he was getting his graduate degree in playwriting from the theater department. And I met him a couple times, and he was super cool and super nice. And
some like playwright like school or something that's supposed to be one of the best, or some.
Yeah, he went to Juilliard too.
But I mean, University of Iowa, don't they have?
Yeah, it's the best writing. It's the best writing program in the country.
What's it called? They have like a name for it.
The Iowa Writers Workshop.
Oh, that's it. Workshop.
Yeah. But yeah, so I saw The Whale. It was very intense, very sad, but just so good. And Brendan Fraser, it's so awesome to see him really show his chops and get a nice meaty part, and get the much due credit that he deserves.
Awesome. I love that. I'm gonna check that out. I actually wasn't even aware of that somehow.
Yeah, it's intense. I mean, it's also a Darren Aronofsky movie, so his movies can be pretty intense. It's got some Requiem vibes for sure.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? What have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing?
Not a lot. I've been spending a lot of time on YouTube. For some reason, watching a lot of YouTube videos on Resident Evil.
Oh, okay.
Like I edited a bunch of shorts recently, so it's just been on my mind. I can't help myself. I don't know what it is. I've just been watching like multiple hour-long videos, like recapping the games, and because I just get so frustrated that they didn't just do what was in the games. They just make up garbage that sucks.
Yeah, I don't get that. We talked about that when we recorded that one episode. It's like there's so much great content in the games. I mean, you could say the same thing about DC. Why is DC has all these great animated movies? Why were they just like, quote unquote shit in the bed when it came to the movies?
Yeah, as I said in one of our shorts, just do the thing. It's right there. Just do the thing.
Just do the thing.
Yeah.
Just do the thing.
Do you know that George A. Romero was supposed to, I think he was, before Paul W.S. Anderson did the first one, he like wrote like a script or a treatment or something for it.
Really?
Yeah. I saw some stuff on that, and it was interesting. It was a little closer to the games, I believe.
Oh, wow. That would have been cool.
I believe he actually directed a live action commercial for Resident Evil 2 as well.
Oh shit! Wow.
That actually was released.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever play the original and the second one?
I played the original on PlayStation.
Original PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah, and when they first had the Rumble Pack, and I remember that first moment in the game where you're walking and it's the first instance of a zombie. It like grabs your foot and your Rumble Pack shakes, and I went, ah! And I like threw the controller. I didn't know what to think.
That happened to me with the second game. I remember I had gone through, because it's like you go through an area and you clear it and you think you're safe. And then I was walking back through a hallway and these arms just like grabbed me from the window.
Terrifying.
Controller, hit the power button, and I never went back to it. So
I mean, shit, yeah. That was the first kind of instance of a fucking zombie game, a horror game.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah, because I saw some stuff on like the guy who created it, and he was like, what he told the developers, he's like, the first thing is to scare the player. Like that's the first thing you focus on. Like, and then the second is nothing. The third is fun gameplay. But the first is rule number one is to scare the player.
Well, they achieved it because we both threw our controllers.
Yep. I'm a little scaredy bitch boy, but whatever. I had forgotten all about this. The cutscenes that they had of like live action. That was before they really should have been doing that. They were like real actors. Like,
I don't remember that.
In the first one, horrible. Just like not even B movie stuff. It's just really, really bad.
They got their actors on Craigslist.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even a lot of the actors' fault. Like, especially the voice acting in the game kind of stunk, but they weren't given like any context or anything.
Right.
Like they were later on in the other games. Like they were just reading these lines. They didn't even know like what was going on. I don't think they were shown the game or anything. It was just like read these lines. So a lot of times it's just like that doesn't sound right for the situation. But it's not their fault.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. But so yeah, I learned a lot of useless information. That's what I do.
Amazing.
Yeah, I had fun. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started watching a little Rick and Morty as well. Almost caught up with that. Still quite good. I feel like I watched something else, but I don't know what it was, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Shall we get into this?
Yeah, let's get into our feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Eraser from 1996, a 42% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, a 39% from the audience, directed by Chuck Russell, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as John Kruger, James Gunn as Robert De Guerin, Vanessa Williams as Lee Cullen, James Coburn as Chief Beller, and James Cromwell as William Donahue.
Great cast. Holy hell, great cast. Jeez.
Yeah, I love me some Cromwell.
Cromwell is always really good, especially in Succession, Babe, Pig in the City, all those fun ones. Wasn't he in was that Species? Was he in Species?
Natasha Henstridge?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he was in some weird monster alien movie. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I just remember Species as it was like, when we were younger, we didn't have the internet, so it's like anytime you got to see a naked person, it was a real treat.
Yeah, that was one of that's right. That was one of the first movies where I was like, boobies.
Yeah, you didn't get to see them very often unless you found like a stash of porn in the woods or something.
Yeah. Who's stashing their porn in the woods?
I found that once. What we learned, one of my friends was on construction sites. A lot of times there'd be Playboys in the porta potties. So
see, that makes sense. But why is there Playboys or Penthouse or Hustlers or whatever in like a dead tree stump in the middle of the forest?
Well, you can't keep them in your house. Your parents might find them. So.
Yeah, very true.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I had never seen this. As I mentioned
I'm
before.
very surprised at that. Very surprised.
Well, I mean, I mentioned why. Like, I was kind of out on Arnold for a little bit, unfortunately. And then when I wanted to go back and watch it, we had already started this show, and I'm like, we're gonna get to it eventually. So I wanted that to be the first time for this, and I'm glad I did because I love this movie.
It's so ridiculous and so much fun and just kind of straight to the point. It's not trying to be anything that it's not. It's just, hey, this is a vehicle for Arnold where he could show off his guns and be a badass.
Yeah, it felt very 80s Arnold. Like,
Yeah,
even some of the
for
music
sure.
was like synth, like, 80s type music.
Alan Silvestri.
Yeah, it's so good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is a fun one for sure.
All right, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
We start off, some goons are about to like torch a family, which is really awful.
Yeah, you get that it's like mob dudes, and the one guy was in witness protection program or something, and they found him, and they're like, "You're fucking dead, dude. You're fucking dead."
I didn't write his name down, but I recognize him. Like, he's one of those guys. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize he was going to show up and be a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
Later on.
I can tell you his name right now while you keep talking.
Yeah. Well, they're just him and his like wife are getting doused with like, gasoline or kerosene or something. It's really horrible. John breaks in and just like kills them all.
I love how Arnold is wearing a what do they call that? A balaclava or something where it only shows his eyes, and he leans over the dude but breaks the guy's neck, but the camera is still on Arnold's face, and his eyes like bug out when he does it. It's just so ridiculous.
I like when he does like the somersault roll into the living room, and it's clearly a guy who's like 75 pounds lighter than him.
Yes. The guy is like really long.
Maybe this is like his partner or something, because this dude's like built like me.
This dude, that is not Arnold.
I did like when he breaks the guy's neck that's in the fridge having a snack, and he's like got a chicken like drumstick in his mouth. After he cracks his neck and he's falling, he still has it in his mouth. I was like, that's attention to detail. I appreciated that.
Also, the dude said like, "Hey, we're torturing this family. We're killing them. Oh, I'm a little hungry. I'm gonna go see what they got in the fridge."
Yeah, he's just having a little snack.
Yeah.
I get that. You get hungry when you're tortured. I know I do. So, yeah, he just gets straight to erasing right off the bat. And we get title of the movie, Smile, You've Just Been Erased.
You've been erased.
Oh, so great.
I love how he really masks what's going on, pours fake blood on them, makes it look like they were dead. God gets bodies from the morgue that look like them, changing their records and everything.
Bodies from the morgue, apparently. That's like, he didn't notify anybody. He just took them. Chief, because he's going back and has a chat with him. He's like, you just broke into the morgue? He's like, there was no time.
What the fuck?
Yeah. All right. That's messed up, man.
Yeah. Come on, John.
Yeah, but he's the best, of course. We always love. Someone says they're the best. He's the best. James Caan says
he's the best.
Really good stuff. He's given his next assignment. So like, some soon-to-be witness in some like defense company scandal. Like they're setting up, like a sting or something, and it hasn't gone down yet.
Yeah, because Vanessa Williams flipped on her boss and is gonna go into some lab while she gets all this information to incriminate them, basically.
Yeah, Cyrex, I think was the name. But it matters. So yeah, she breaks into this vault and starts downloading data, whatever she was in there for, and she makes a backup copy. She puts it in her little her makeup case.
Her little compact, yeah,
compact. That's it. And then as she gets out of the vault, security guard comes up to her. He's like, Donahue wants to see you in his office. That's her boss. That's Kron. So she goes up there. She's caught, They find the camera real quick, which I thought is in this like big brooch on her. But it's all like the wiring and stuff. I was like, that's not hidden very well. And no, it wasn't.
Oh shit. Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Notices it right away. And then he does the thing where that I love, where that they're dealing with some really bad people because he pulls a gun on her, and instead of shooting her, he kills himself because he's afraid of him so much.
Yeah, and she says, "I work for the FBI now," and he's like, "You think that makes you safe?"
Yeah. I also loved when he shoots himself. It like blows out the window, and it's just like, like
yeah,
it's
a good touch.
Because they're on like the 80th floor or something. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's how you really know she's in trouble. So yeah, she gets out of there. FBI picks her up. It's fine. Bring her to some like secure site, and that's where she meets Kruger. Basically, the FBI like fucked her. Like they knew that she was gonna like. They're basically hanging out to dry. They just used her to get the information they needed.
Yeah, fuckers.
And of course, Kruger picks up that right away. Picks up on he knows because he's the best.
Kruger is the best.
So
he's like, you sons, you bastards, you have no case without her. What are you doing?
Oh man. So like it's a big conspiracy because they turn in. She gives them the disc. She turns it into the FBI, and they go to like the evidence locker guy, and he switches the disc. You know, because he's in on it too. The conspiracy goes deep.
It goes down to the bottom rungs.
Yeah, seriously. But she doesn't want to go into witness protection. She's like, I have a life. I'm not going to disappear. I'm going home. Like, that's not a great choice.
Smart, very smart.
not a great choice. And they put some FBI goons outside, whatever. She starts like looking into the info on the disc or something that she kept. But she like sort of gets some information, but not really. I didn't really understand that because later on they're like, you can only open the disc at this special place. But
yeah, she tried to access the disc from home, but couldn't because you can only access the disc on company equipment or whatever.
I thought she got some information out, but yeah, that makes more sense. She calls a reporter friend of hers, right as some goons kill all the feds outside. Like, what did they do to them? Because they're like smoldering in their car.
I think they shot him with the rail gun. I think, right?
Is that necessary?
Yeah. They're like roasted, toasted, and burnt to a crisp.
They're just a bunch. Yeah, they're toasty feds.
Crispy critters over here.
Exactly. So yeah, she calls that reporter, and that's when they move in on her house. And then her ex-boyfriend's just like there hanging out.
Yeah, and she's like, "This is over. We're done. Why are you here?" And he's like, "I want to try to make it work." And all of a sudden, bam, he gets fucking sniped to hell from a ray gun.
I love how it's like infrared, not infrared, but it's like almost like X-ray. Yeah, and they always like lock onto the heart, like this rail gun that they mentioned shoots at like the speed of light. Like you just even like graze someone and they're gonna be eviscerated, but no, they always lock onto the heart. So stupid.
Yeah, that's one thing. The boyfriend or the ex had no reason to be there. That was just
it was
unnecessary.
Just
yeah, someone to die. Exactly. Like, let's see what this railgun can do.
Yeah, then a delivery truck shows up with like a party supply guy, and he has like a bunch of balloons, and it's just Arnold, a bunch of happy birthday balloons or something.
Get down.
That's when the ex gets just nailed to the wall, literally.
Holy hell!
It's so brutal.
Whoa.
Yeah, bad guys start shooting up the house. I like how they roll in that bomb that explodes a bunch of like shards.
Whoa!
He opens the fridge up because they hide behind the fridge so they can't see the like heat signatures. Like, oh, that's kind of smart. But also, you'd be like, oh, they were here and now they're not. They're probably behind like the one thing that would mask their
block their vision.
Yeah. It's like when Lex Luthor hands Superman a lead box. It's like because he can't see through it. It's like there's kryptonite in there, man. Just don't open it.
Yeah. Hey, it's a lead box. It's not like it's a fucking pinky ring or something.
So anytime you see lead, Superman, that's probably because there's something someone's keeping from you. Like that's
run.
Whatever. But I like how he opens the door of the fridge to like block all the shrapnel. Even though he probably could have just held it open, but it gave us one moment where it's like a piece of rebar through his hand. It's pretty brutal.
And he's doing his.
There's so much of that in this. It's great. So the goons move in. He just like pulls the gas main off the wall and sets the the thermostat ready. You know, little time bomb basically. They escape the house, explodes, big explosion. They just drive off, no problem.
Of course, they're fine.
Yeah, that's when we learn more about the guns they're using. It's railgun tech, and they've miniaturized it, I guess. That's the big thing. We learn a little more. It's a huge conspiracy, like the undersecretary of whatever, like some politician, big guy. He's in on it. Government agents in on it. Like it goes all the way to the top.
Bunch of CIA guys selling guns to bad guys.
Yeah, basically. They spend the night in a safe house, and next morning, he drops her off at some friend's place, like Chinatown.
Yeah, it was one of his former, I guess, clients, somebody that he saved.
Yeah, he mentions he's like I like erased her in like San Francisco or something.
Because she testified against the Yakuza, I think is what she said.
So he gives her a new identity. I believe it was Deborah, and a gun.
And the good thing he says is that I work alone. If anyone comes saying I sent them or I want to check on them or whatever, use this.
Yeah, immediately shoot them. She's smart. So Kruger then goes to see James Caan, his chief, and he tells him like someone's been murdering witnesses. The chief tells him that. And he's like, I got a witness and you got one. Like, we need to move them. We need to all go get them. Because he's like, I work alone. It's like, no, that time is up. Like, okay, we'll
work alone
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, he needs to check things out. So they go do that. We also find out the reporter's dead, just in like an aside, like an offhand remark. Like they filleted her. This is really brutal.
They said they peeled her like an onion.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yikes. Ugh. Sucks. They get on like this their federal jet, whatever they're on. Did you notice the like rookie guy? I think he's the guy from The Rock.
He is.
The guy at the very end. He's like, don't go up. After
let go of me. Let go of me.
Same blood in the same mud.
Yeah.
I'll give that order.
And then the guy who Arnold is kind of on his case, he was in Con Air. He always plays like a kind of a shitty dude.
Yeah.
You know? And he says to Arnold, don't you get tired of babysitting scum? And Arnold goes, yeah, but in your case, I'll make an exception. And the guy's like, who the fuck is this guy? And Khan's like, he's the best.
Yeah.
And I agree with him.
The best. Yeah, and I tend to agree with him.
Yeah.
So we get a quick little gear up with Arnold, just a bunch of knives. Like he puts one in his like big Texas type belt buckle.
I know, just like one of those novelty kind of things.
Yeah. Which comes back, of course. They move in. Chief saves Kruger right off the bat. Just like shoots one of the guys.
Yeah, a guy has the drop on him and he just shoots him right in the back.
Yeah, I do like the how long they take with the knowing nods of each other. It's like 5 more guys in here. Just move on.
Come on. Pay attention.
Oh man, I love one of the guys is hiding behind a door and he just kicks him in the face with it and then stabs him through the door.
That's so great. I said knife kill for the win.
Oh, it's so good. Blast another guy. And that's when you find out that Chief's in on it. I mean, duh, of course he is. I'm glad they let us know quick. Like, let us know. Like, we all knew.
I thought that too, because you know they would in a not as good movie, they would have waited and held that to like the fucking end.
Yeah,
but with this, it's like
the second James Caan came on screen, we're like, bad guy.
Bad guy, clearly.
Yeah,
bad guy. In
so
on it.
Appreciate that. It's really brutal. He like, because he comes in and one of the bad guys has his witness held hostage, and he's like, "You're early." He's like, "You're late," and he just shoots him in the head.
Bang. Just and that's when you say, you know, he's a bad guy when he kills his own henchman.
Yeah, exactly. And then he kills the witness with the bad guy's gun, and like suffocates her with mouth-to-mouth CPR. That was weird.
Oh, that was brutal.
I didn't really understand why he needed to do that. I didn't like it.
I think because you know.
Well, I know why he did it at first, because she could say something.
Yeah.
But then when the guy ran out of the room, like he keeps doing it like to suffocate her. It's like,
I think it's because they'd probably do, autopsy and stuff on her, and if somebody came in, it looked like he was doing.
Well, that's why he did it at first, and I understood that. But then once he like sent the person away that saw it, he does that to like finish her off. He goes back again for a second little smoochy. It was weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah, that was very upsetting.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So, and one of the other feds, Zenane, like plants a picture of Vanessa Williams Cullen in one of the guy's pockets. It's like, oh, I guess she's next. It's like, where are you keeping her? And he's like, Atlanta. He's careful.
Yep.
Back on the jet, they dose Kruger with some Evian. Basically roofie him.
Yep.
I did like how it's like that that pail or like thing of water, and then one of the other guy comes up and he's like takes it away. He's like, "No, you have this one." Like grabs him a soda out of the fridge or something.
Oh yeah,
that was good. But yeah, and he starts to like pass out, but before he does, he like grabs his phone and he warns Cullen since they're like 911 or something.
Yeah. On her pager, showing you what year this movie came out in.
Yeah, and but of course they trace the call. It's in New York. And that's when the chief kills the rookie. I also like this other little touch where they had him sit down because you don't unload a gun on a plane for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And did you notice when he sat him down, there was a bulletproof vest behind him, so that when he shot him, it wouldn't go through him.
Oh no, that's a great catch, great touch.
It's such a nice little like. This movie didn't need to do that. Like, it didn't need it at all. Like I wouldn't have cared, but that's like, oh wow, you thought about this a little bit.
Oh, amazing.
I appreciate things like that. I really, But yeah, he's dead. He's just like the guy who's like the rookie who dies in every movie. That's his role.
That's shit.
Yeah. They apparently don't kill Kruger for some reason. He comes out of his little dosing stage, and Chief tries to make a deal with him. I guess it's because he does like him, so he's like,
yeah.
And he thinks, I don't know if he was really serious about like bringing him in, or if he was just trying to get her to make it easier to get her. I kind of felt like he was trying to bring him in because he didn't really want to kill him, because I think they were friends.
Yeah, and then Arnold goes, drop your gun, and I promise I won't kill you.
Yep. And he starts to escape uses the belt knife. Man, he just pops that hatch open. Everyone's shooting everywhere. Grabs like a parachute. Like before he gets out of the plane, though, he grabs a seat and throws in the engine. I thought that was great.
Yeah, because they're like, what does he say? Khan is like, you jump out of that plane, you're going to get eaten alive in that engine. And Arnold's like, I know, I'm counting on it. And then he throws the seat and just like,
yeah, another great touch. And then the parachute gets knocked out, and he's hanging on there like an idiot.
He's Tom Cruise in it on there.
Yeah, exactly. Then he goes flying off after it because every hero knows how to parachute without a chute and like go get it.
Because he's free falling.
He absolutely is. I always love watching when like the scenes like that, because you could tell the person has the stunt guy has a parachute under their back coat. You know?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I mean, of course, like you have to. You can't just jump out. Of
course. It's a pretty cool sequence altogether, though.
It really is. Some wonky CGI when he's like hanging off the plane, but
really bad.
It's 96. For 96, it actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, totally.
He so then he gets his parachute and pops it open, but probably did a little too early because they're like, swing the plane around, go like run into him. Which is brutal. They try to. I love him just shooting at the pilot.
They're just playing like chicken.
Yeah, with an airplane, with a jet. Yeah. And they hit it. And he gets all wrapped up in his chute. Cuts his way out and hits the backup chute. Like 2 seconds before he hits the ground. But I mean, he lands on a car, so he's fine because cars are essentially just like they might as well be a giant mattress.
I know it's gonna be super soft, no problem.
Yeah, it's like when Batman does that with Rachel. Like, you just fall on a car, you're fine, because cars give. You know, there's that give, so he's fine. And yeah, so then he makes he's okay. He's on the ground. He makes his way to go find Lee. She has gone to the zoo.
Yeah, because I guess Khan points it out later where he goes, public place, nothing bad can happen to them in a public place or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he basically says, like, Kruger says to her, he's like, this is where you'll go because there's 6 exits, there's a public place, blah, blah, blah. And then Chief is like, oh, yeah, this is what he's going to do because this is the best spot. This is what he would have told her. Mm-hmm. So they pick that up right away, end up there. And as you mentioned, if anyone said that they were with Kruger to shoot him, she does that right away, which is great.
And she has she's so slick with it too. She has the gun in her pocket, and then she goes closer to him and then just goes boom, just like grazes him right in the thigh.
Yeah, and the leg is I love that because there's no hesitation. She's just like bang, runs off. She's hiding, but some monkeys give away her position.
Goddamn monkeys.
Fucking monkeys. And that's when Kruger rolls in with a tow truck.
And why would Arnold, in the movie, why would Kruger drive the tow truck into everybody and get shot? They always do that. All these dudes are so stupid because they're like, oh, he's in there. Psych, he's not fucking in there, bitch.
Yeah, they go to open the door and he's just escaped because he's freaking Houdini.
Yep.
She hides in the reptile house. This took a turn that I was not ready for. Like, you had mentioned a certain line, and I was like, how is that going to happen? And even in here, I still didn't put that together. She looks like she's toast, and Kruger barges in, of course. She's out of bullets, and he just has 2 left, and he shoots a giant aquarium full of crocodiles.
Did you see what he said, though, when he, slid over to her? She's like, you're late. And he goes, traffic.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Those alligators or crocodiles, whatever they were, just, eat everybody.
They're just chomping the shit out of people. And it's nasty, too. Dude, their arms ripped off, their heads chopped on.
It's crazy. Then he bites one for a minute. And what does he say?
He shoots it right in the head and goes, your luggage.
Unbelievable.
Classic Arnold one-liners.
Unbelievable scene. Just absurd and amazing. I loved every second of it.
Me too.
So yeah, they escape. Khan, Chief, he convinces his big boss that Kruger's a bad guy. He's gone rogue. He's like, I mean, it's a good story. It's like and she's in on it. It's like we identified ourselves as marshals or whatever they are, and she shot one of my guys. What do you want us to do? And he's just like, I can't believe it, but okay. So, and that's when Colin shows Kruger she made the copy of the disc, and we find out she can't actually see what's on it unless you're at Cyrex's headquarters, in that vault, basically.
Right.
So he's like, I guess we got to go there.
They'd expect us. I'd hate to disappoint them.
Yeah. So Kruger then he's like, we need help. He goes to see the guy from the beginning, the mob informant. Because he made it very clear. He's like, anything you ever need, anything you need, any help you need, I got you. So he cashes in that favor real quick. It was very quick. It reminded me of The Sopranos because he's working with the bar he's working at. He's like, no mob guys are going to come in here. It's like, oh, that's actually kind of smart.
Yeah.
And I expected them to make a really easy, shitty joke about it, but they really didn't.
No, not at all. They treated it, hey, it was a smart move for him because mob dudes wouldn't show up in that kind of a bar.
Yeah.
And
to be clear.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, here comes the the stereotypical jokes that they're not even jokes. It's just in the 80s and 90s, just being gay was the punchline.
Right, exactly.
It happened in almost every movie that we've done from that era.
He actually kind of embraces it. He goes, hey, don't tell anybody that I'm straight. I don't want to break any hearts.
Yeah. He's not there's in no way are they ever. It's not the butt of the joke. It's just
no, not at all
for it. But I was really worried about that. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
They were restrained on a number of things that I mean. It's weird to like praise it for just not being shitty, but at the time,
I mean, hey, we've seen a lot of really shitty things happen in movies on this show.
So. Yeah, and at the time, that was just like part of the playbook. This is what you would do.
Par for the course. Yeah.
And there's another scene later on that I appreciated they didn't do too, but we'll get to that. So yeah, he goes to like help him, and Chief and his co-conspirators, they need to get. They're like, we got to get this shipment of guns out tonight. You know, like these are not people you disappoint. So they also know that Kruger's going to go to Cyrex because he has. I don't know how they knew he had the disc. I think it's because when she tried to log in, it like alerted them.
Yes, it did. Yes, that's it.
That's right. So they know she has a copy. They like surround the building. They have guards everywhere. They're like, how he can't get in, like, you know, it's like, no, he's a ghost. If he wants in, he'll get in. Stupid. So they formulate their plan. It involves Alka-Seltzer. Which I was like, what?
Alka-Seltzer and the pepperoni and cheese by Montabelle.
Yep. The guy poses as a pizza delivery boy, and they rough him up, and then he puts the Alka-Seltzer in his mouth and acts like he has rabies or having a seizure or something. I don't know.
Yeah, seizure, I think is what they're saying. Yeah. And they're all just, no one's jumping in to help him or save him. Everyone's just like, ew.
Yeah. Ew. Don't get on me.
Ew, don't touch me.
So yeah, that's the first part of their plan. They call an ambulance for him, of course. And, I mean, Kruger and Cullen driving the ambulance, because why wouldn't they be? And get into the building. And there's this weird scene where they're using a defibrillator on him because he like acts
out. Why? He's clearly awake.
Yeah, he's like trying to talk. Like I know they put a thing in his mouth, but like that was such a weird scene because it didn't really have any bearing on anything at all.
Yeah, very weird.
Come back at all. There wasn't like a reason for it other than just watching.
And he was awake. He was awake.
It was so strange. I don't know.
Very bizarre.
It was odd, but I guess they needed something going on for Arnold to break in and like stop him. I guess I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
So they're in the building. Then they can like see when the disc is being run and like being checked, and that apparently starts happening. And they're like, "Well, how do you get in there?" It's like must have gone in some other way. So they like break it. They get themselves. I thought they were going a completely different direction with this. They can't get into the vault because guys like the code changed or something.
It changes every week, I think.
But then they made it seem like they had changed the code or something, because then James Caan just grabs a shotgun to open this like bank vault door.
That's what I said too. I was like, how is his shotgun just opening this giant ass fucking bank vault?
It's Star Wars rules where if you need to open or close the door, you just shoot the panel and it does whatever you need it to do.
Pretty much.
But I thought they were gonna use that as like they broke in, so then they'd check and see they weren't there, but then it was open, so then that's how they'd get in.
Yeah.
That's whatever. Like, why not just have the code work?
Yeah.
that was weird too. Yeah, they get in and like they're not in there, obviously. And even though they said that's the only place that they could access it. But they're somehow doing it remotely. And like obviously the only other place, like she came up with this idea. She's like, oh, Donahue must have built in a back door so he could access it from his office. Right. She came up with that. You think they would have come up with that? Like, that's the first place you'd probably look, right? They don't. They have some tech guy like searching. It's gonna take time though, so they can't figure it out. They're narrowing it down. Getting all the information off of a system or this disk or whatever. They're selling to some Russian mob guy. I love how they just have like complete bios, like pictures and everything. They have like time when they're like, man, these criminals are really, really good at like keeping track of stuff, like bookkeeping. Like, maybe don't write all that down. I don't know. But yeah, they get everything they need. Find out they're selling a bunch of those rail guns. This mob guy.
Russians.
Yeah. They eventually the tech guy figures out they're in Donahue's office and erase the disc. It even has like a little thing. They took the time to be like, "You've just been erased." Like they put
Yeah.
that. Like, all right,
hacker dick move over here.
yeah. They bust in the office, big gunfight. Really enjoyed this. I love how he uses the guy as a human shield, then pulls all his grenades and kicks him into the elevator with the other dudes. That was fantastic.
Fucking awesome.
That was so good.
Awesome.
Security doors start to go down. And Cullen and Kruger get separated, and Chief grabs her. And I like how they just shoot at each other at those doors that are just clearly bulletproof.
then they both realize, oh shit.
Yeah, that was fun. So they escape, those two. The Chief with Cullen, like he had called the helicopter, it goes to the roof. Get out. Kruger gets the doors up by just shooting sprinkler, which opens all the doors, I guess. Fine.
Great. Yeah.
Hey, I guess
don't want a fire hazard.
Yeah, fair enough. They escape in a helicopter. I like how then he's just like has apparently no problem getting out of there. Like, because the next scene he's just like on the road.
Because he's the best.
Yeah, he's just out of there.
He's the best.
There was like 1,000 dudes in there, but okay, whatever. So he's out of there, no problem. Him and his buddy, they figure out, because part of the information was the deal's going down on the docks, Baltimore Pier or something, at midnight. And he's like, you take off. This isn't your fight. He's like, my cousin, he like runs the docks. It's like, okay, get in.
All right.
A bunch of stevedores. Oh, this is so silly, and I loved it. So yeah, his cousin Tony works there. They're gonna get him to help.
And I like how he's like, that's not who I think it is.
Yeah.
Not unless he's a ghost. And then he just takes like a step forward and just goes, boo.
Yeah. Notice another weird choice. We're not there yet, but he had a deck of cards. He was just like nonchalantly shuffling for no reason as he walked in.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Maybe that was some weird, not weird, but like improvised acting choice that the actor did in the moment, just like something to do.
It made me think of like that episode of Seinfeld where George is like eating an apple on the phone with a lady because it made him sound like relaxed or like chill, and like it's like that's what he was doing to like come off as cool and collected and like not bothered. I don't know.
Sure.
So strange. But yeah, before that, Kruger is like calls the, what does he do? He calls the big boss. He's like, yeah, I got, or no, wait, they get the guys help first, right?
They get the mob guys help.
The union guys.
Yeah, the union guys.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them.
They were great.
I love how the big dude is like, he looks like just a big dumb idiot, but like they call him commies later on. He's like, no, actually it's Confederated States of like, he's like, they're not communists anymore.
Actually, they're not communists anymore. It's just a grouping of separate individual federalized states or whatever. And they're like, oh, well, whatever.
It's so good. And yeah, so they all like go on, do their little plan. And that's when Kruger calls his boss. He's like, I got proof of this. Like, come to the docks, come get me.
Come and get me.
And then just leaves the phone there, which is also a nice touch. The union mob guys, they cause a distraction while Kruger just like sneaks in like a cat burglar. They of course, did you notice how he jumps off that down to get the first two guys? He does like
a gainer or something.
Yeah, he goes like full Olympics floor routine. Like, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, he just does like a full-on gainer. And not to mention off a, 20 feet, 30 feet high.
Yeah, and it's not quiet because they're all shooting, whatever.
Sure.
It's fantastic. And then all the mob guys beat up the guys at the gate, and they grab their guns and everything.
Nobody screws with the union.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. Like their little ruse. It's like, I see all these guys. You got a union guy out here. He's like, from local 187. Like, you gotta have a union guy.
Like, get out of here. It's a mess. It's national security. It's a matter of national security. And they're like, I don't think so, guy.
Yeah, so good. So yeah, they're all moving in, doing their little plan. They kind of spot Kruger and some like warehouse thing, and start shooting with all the rail guns and stuff. He gets hurt. Seems pretty bad. Like big thing through his leg.
Yeah, all the railgun fire too is fucking crazy, and I like how they have the little trails, like the chem trails or whatever.
Yeah, it's silly, but it's like it works.
It's a nice touch.
Yeah, I like it. It's stupid, but it works. And they like basically bring the whole thing down around him and like send in a couple guys to like mop it up. His shotgun's like damaged and he throws it out there and one of the other guys picks it up. They just shoot him. Nice shotgun, asshole.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so dumb because you'd think they'd be like, "Oh, I got him." Like he'd probably say that on the radio, right?
I got him.
That would be cool. There's none of that. That's fine. Whatever. Stabs the other guy with like the piece of metal that was in him, which is great.
Shanks the shit out of him.
Yeah, pins him to the wall too. Yeah, he then somehow makes his way under the floorboards. And he just goes full John McClane on him, shooting through like he's shooting through the table in the Knockdown Tower.
Oh, and when he breaks through the wood too with the double rail gun,
he comes out just like full Conan. He's like, like arms up like a caveman. Yeah, grabs both. Then he's dual wielding rail guns. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
unbelievable.
So funny.
So, meanwhile, like the bad Russian guy has, they've been keeping Cullen around. I don't really know why, because the movie wanted her to be alive, I guess. And he's like, here's all the gunfire. He's like, I'm getting out of here. He's like, so your time is up. And she like had broken out of her whatever. I don't know. So, the thing with the chair is always
yeah.
So yeah, she escapes and like hits him with a thing of coffee. She gets out of there. So she's okay for the moment. Kruger then just hooks up a bunch of people.
Just like, fucking dudes up, breaking necks, shooting, stabbing, fucking
so great. Mob guys, they do some sniping. Hit a guy in the crane.
Through the scope.
Yeah,
headshot.
Saving Private Ryan.
Love it.
And then everyone's part of the fray at this point. It's a big mess. Fighting everywhere. Chief then grabs Cullen and like holds her hostage on top of this like container.
This giant container that is suspended off the ground, like 20, 30 feet off the ground or something.
Full of all the guns. Makes Kruger put his guns down and then just shoots him. But doesn't make sure he's dead, of course. They continue trying to load it, and he somehow like runs, and even though he got shot in the shoulder and his leg and like everything, and he just grabs on to the container and climbs up. I don't know how.
Hey, Arnold didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, yeah, he's not fussed. He gets up on the container somehow, and Cullen gets free. And what does he say before he drops it?
He goes, say goodbye. Khan's like, say goodbye, John. And Arnold is like, goodbye.
Yeah, because she jumps off or something, but then he just drops this container with both of them on it. It's just like buckled. It's so brutal.
Yeah, fucking really brutal.
But of course he's fine. But the Chief's under like a bunch of wreckage. As the feds show up, I like how he's like, "You gotta help me, and he like starts to pull it up, and he's got a gun still, of course.
Grabs it, you son of a bitch!
Disarms him real quick. And all the feds are there with the big boss. They arrest the bad guys, and then him and Cullen hug, which I appreciated that they didn't kiss. I was like, oh, they're gonna kiss, aren't they?
I think I read that a romantic ending was filmed and originally in the cut.
Yeah,
but it tested so bad they took it out.
They shot it like they were gonna do that, and that's what this type of movie would have done. That's the other point of restraint I was happy about, because there's no sexual chemistry between them. Like they liked each other, but like it was like not in that way, you know.
Not necessary.
It's
in
like
the
a
slightest.
friendly, professional, like, okay,
Right.
we're on the same page way. There's no like sexual chemistry or anything like that. So I appreciate not kissing. So yep, that's that. All the bad guys are arrested. Cut to like Kruger and Cullen watching all the bad guys do like a perp walk after like like courthouse steps or whatever. And then they like get into this van that's very clearly gonna explode.
Yeah, that was set up from the get-go.
Yeah, which and of course it does. And then all the bad guys are in their little limo and they're like, "Oh, that was a great job, like well done." And they're like, "Oh, I didn't do that. I thought you did that." And that's when like the doors lock and the limo stops, and of course his little buddy, the mob dude, was driving, parks it on the limo on some train tracks.
And they're all trying to get out. They can't. They're trying to bust the window. They can't.
Yeah.
And then Arnold calls him. You've just been erased.
Yep. Train hits him. Boom, explodes, and credits.
Oh, so good. Such a fun movie.
Oh my god, I loved this so much.
Such a fun, ridiculous movie. I've got a little bit of trivia if you want to hear it.
Oh, hit us with some trivia.
Let's see here. The John Kruger role was originally offered to Sylvester Stallone. He absolutely hated the script, turned down the offer, and instead starred in Copland.
I mean, not a bad choice, but
not
a bad script. I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, it's not Shakespeare, but
I mean, Stallone's he's definitely done worse movies for sure.
Yeah, like there's nothing like really wrong with it. It just was, it was what it was, and knew what it was. That's fine.
Yeah, for sure. Cinematographer Adam Greenberg was personally chosen for the job by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had worked with him on the first 2 Terminator movies. Schwarzenegger assured the production that if they wanted an experienced professional cameraman who could capture the action on the film's hectic schedule, that Greenberg was the man for the job.
I mean, it looked good. Like,
yeah, it looked really good. It had some Terminator 2-esque moments.
Yeah.
This film is considered by many Schwarzenegger film fans to be the last good film of the, quote, classic Schwarzenegger period, starting in '82 with the first Conan film. It was certainly the last of his action films that was a box office hit, excluding the Expendables film trilogy, which were more of an ensemble cast.
Yeah, I mean, I was with that. I just was out one movie too early, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. John Milius and Frank Darabont did rewrites of the screenplay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
The film's railguns are based on real military technology, a fact outlined at some length in Roger Ebert's thumbs up review of the film. As Ebert noted, however, the railgun technology that exists was in an early developmental phase and designed to put such weapons on U.S. Navy ships instead of making for anything that an individual could carry and safely discharge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're real. Arnold even says at one point, he's like, I've never seen one this small. Like the only one I've seen is on like a battleship or something.
Yeah. Whoa, that's crazy. The film cast includes 1 Oscar winner, James Coburn, and 2 Oscar nominees, James Caan and James Cromwell. All 3 named James, and all of them received Oscar nominations in the Best Supporting Actor category.
Love it.
2 walk-on roles were auctioned off for $4,500 at a Planet Hollywood auction.
Planet Hollywood.
I know. Brooke Shields was offered the role of Lee Cullen, but turned it down due to scheduling conflicts.
That would have worked.
Yeah. Dan Aykroyd, Rick Moranis, Gene Wilder, and Robin Williams were considered for the role of John Castiglione.
That was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked him. I liked him. The guy.
He was great. He was likable. I liked it. Yeah. And last, but certainly not least.
Oh, I don't know. We haven't had one of these in a while.
Mm-hmm.
37.
Close. 40.
Oh man.
So close. Oh, that movie was a lot of fun.
I loved that. That was a great choice.
I just realized we hadn't decided what we're doing next week, but
man, yeah, we'll figure that out. We're so far ahead right now. I don't know what's coming out. Maybe we'll do like
we got some fun stuff. We just recorded a fun episode of recasting Die Hard. It's probably already been dropped at this point, the time this will be dropped. But if you haven't looked at it or listened to it, check that one out.
It'll be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Show us some love, if you will.
Show us some love on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh man. Yeah, we'll get whatever's the following week on it'll be in the show notes. Oh man, this was fantastic. Why don't you hit us where you can find us?
You can find us at www.actionmoviebookclub.com. You can also find us on Twitter at ActionMovieBC or on Instagram at ActionMovieBookClub. Also, hit us up on YouTube. Just type in Action Movie Book Club. Give us a little like and subscribe action. Also, give us a little like and subscribe on anywhere where you listen to your podcasting. We love doing this so much. Anything to help boost us in the algorithm, get us in more people's ears, because we like doing this and want to keep doing it. And maybe someday, make a little bit of scratch doing it too. That would be nice.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Oh, that'd be the best. But yeah, this is so much fun. Thank you, Hans.
Yeah, and by the time this comes out, our little companion show, I guess you could call it, Comic Book Club, should probably have its first episode out. So
yes, go listen to that with Hans and
our
fan of the show, Charlotte.
Yeah, she's been on. She's great. But yeah, that's about all I got. Why don't you take us out?
Happy trails, Hans. Your luggage.